Okay. So what do you guys know about Antarctica?
Nothing and everything.
Nothing and everything? What? All right, I'm curious. What do you like? What is the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Antarctica, aside from like Chile?
Government buildings that we don't know about.
Ooh, okay. You're the skeptical side. Okay.
Fucking
Ice wall.
wildlife that we probably don't know about.
Okay.
An opening
Secret
into
labs
a
and
lush
shit going on.
Green.
He's starting to get into
Oh,
Earth.
yeah.
I'm not getting into
Yeah, that's some
that.
flat Earth shit right there. Okay.
It could be around Earth. Just a.
Well, I'll
Figure
start it
around
off.
Earth.
I'm gonna get right into this, guys, with some crazy structures that we know about in Antarctica. So I'm gonna throw up the coordinates for this. Gabe, would you be able to type this in, actually?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw up the coordinates on screen right now for any of the visual listeners or watchers. So the first structure that is known in Antarctica that's kind of peculiar is this ice face. So it is these coordinates right here, if you wanted to punch that in.
Oh yeah.
But I can show you guys a picture here in just a second once Gabe punches that in.
Ice face. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's basically, it's on screen right here for you guys. But it looks like a statue that's been buried in snow, like a massive statue. Just in the middle of Antarctica. Yeah, here, let me pull this. So look at this face. Tell me this doesn't look like some sus. Like something's going on in Antarctica. That looks weird. Tell me that doesn't look like a face, man.
I think it's
weird.
I think it's a stretch.
A stretch? Okay, I can respect that. Because it could be the framing, you know?
The thing,
Drop down.
It was like built by somebody.
yeah, and the only reason why I say that is because if you look at statues around the world, if you look
Yeah.
at any sort of
Doesn't
like
hold up.
iconography around the
Yeah.
world, none of it is facing up.
That's
because
fair
it's
enough.
some sort of
Yeah.
like worshiping, like object or building,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call that, a statue. But like anything like that, it's usually going to be facing out. Like no one's going to be looking at it from a
Yeah.
point where it's facing up and you're looking at it.
Yeah, that it was built top down.
Yeah.
Like someone from like above to
I think
see.
it's a little weird.
I think,
Well,
yeah.
But if
I
it
can
was
back
back in the
that.
day when people could like still be in Antarctica long enough to like, oh, let's carve out a face.
Yeah.
Let's carve out a tribute or a statue. I mean, this is way before any other statue
Yeah.
would have been built.
And I
by
suppose
humankind.
like
so maybe they figured, oh, let's just chisel the ground below
Yeah.
us.
when it almost
Maybe they couldn't go through the effort of getting enough material to prop up and like shape something out of that's. And if we want to get into like, I mean, this is a conspiracy
That's
theory
where-
podcast.
yeah, I think we're on the same
if we
page.
want to go into the aliens in
Yep,
Antarctica,
that's exactly what I was just about to
the
say. I was
face
gonna
could
say,
be facing up into space for a reason.
like I've said in previous episodes, I'm not that skeptical where I think aliens really like, you know, I don't think they've really visited Earth necessarily, but just based off of that image, I would say like the most sense or logical solution to that picture would be some kind of alien race kind of helping.
I think
like,
it'd be really odd, and I think it's very circumstantial that we're so far back
yeah.
in time where we're just like,
Well, I'm just like, think about though, like it's Antarctica. It had to have been like ages, like millennia ago when.
well,
this
so
happened.
like even
Like,
like
not when humans were around.
I'm
This
talking
is
about like
before humans.
technology wise, we can't be so advanced that we know aliens exist, and this is the way that a face would look.
Yeah.
That large on the ground facing up, and it's accurate.
Yeah, that's fair.
Either that has to be a previous civilization that's more advanced than the time period that we're talking about right now, or it's a coincidence.
Wait, building on that, what do you guys like? How do you entertain the idea that maybe we're a further generation after a previous like massive civilization ruled the earth in the past?
I think it's very
kind of thing.
I think it's possible.
You think the odds are possible?
I
Because
think.
I always
What do you
think
mean by
of
that though?
yeah,
Like,
Okay,
yeah.
so
Expand on what you mean.
as me and Micah have stated in previous episodes, like we're both religious, we're Christian and everything. But I almost entertain the idea sometimes that like an intelligent like species used to live on Earth and was just like completely bombarded either via war or like some, you know, climate ending event that wiped us back into the Stone Age and
yeah,
humans
the war
came
thing,
out of
that's
that.
actually something that I was
Yeah.
gonna get into.
So that's why
as
I'm
a
like,
possibility.
oh, that's sick. So that's where I'm like kind of coming from. Like, do you guys entertain the idea that maybe like there was a civilization on Earth that was intelligent, that wasn't quite to the level we're at right now, but was to some kind of level in their own way?
I think it's arguable. I wouldn't say it's anything else besides humans. I would still say it's like humans. It wouldn't. It wouldn't be like a different species of like something else.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Previous age of.
I think about like the
I could
idea
see
that
a previous age of human society being even. I could even see human society being more advanced than what we're at right now.
for sure.
Just in different technology.
Yeah.
Because like even if like we talked about in a previous podcast about ancient civilizations when we were talking about pyramids.
Yeah.
Pyramids could have been a power plant
That's what.
that
we
used
talked
like
about that.
magnetic
Yeah.
technology and like
We're
that's
gonna get
more
into something
advanced
similar to
than,
this episode too.
that's something more advanced than
Yeah.
what we are right now because we can't use magnetic technology like that.
Right, yeah,
But we also use electricity different than they probably did
Yeah.
or however, maybe they weren't.
No, for sure.
But there's evidence that civilizations were at least more technologically advanced in some areas
certain
than
ways,
we are.
yeah. And from my perspective, what really like kind of hits me, I almost wonder like if we got wiped out by some kind of Earth-ending event, would satellites and like space stations be one of the main things left over? And if another civilization came up after us, would they find these and be like, "Whoa, what is
It
this?"
depends on,
like imagine we
the
find stuff
apocalyptic event. Like
Yeah.
if it's something that throws us out of our own orbit, then the satellites would
like we find
float away into
hieroglyphs.
nowhere.
Yeah, we find hieroglyphs and ancient tools buried and fossilized in the stone.
But if we end
Imagine
ourselves,
a civilization finding like, space stations with
think
like
I think
American
it'd be-
information in there, and they're like, "Holy shit, what
I
is
think
this?"
it'd be really rare that something like that would be left behind
For
because
sure.
if there was war,
It would be
that would
millions of
be-
years, and
that
they'd
would-
be destroyed.
well,
yeah,
well, satellites
I-
might get fried.
I would
And
think
destroyed.
satellites would be destroyed first because that's a
Some
main
space
line
scrap,
of communication and like even weaponry too.
well,
like-
they're like constantly to consistent damage just from other scraps and
Like I'm
stuff
pretty
floating
sure
around
I'm
and-
pretty sure you can't have like weapons that have like tracking mechanisms in them. I'm pretty sure that doesn't work if you don't have a satellite.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's how that works. I don't
Maybe
think they have.
I'm not
like-
educated enough to speak
like
on it, so I won't.
I'm thinking like nukes. Like if you're sending a nuke somewhere,
yeah,
you're using your satellites to like send them somewhere that the like even your facility isn't even able to reach.
yeah.
So if you destroy the satellites, they aren't able to work properly like you want them to. At least that's how I would think
Okay,
it
yeah,
works.
yeah, fair enough.
So I would think satellites would be destroyed first, and
Yeah.
there'd just be no evidence of it.
I don't know. I feel like more than anything, like the surface world would be destroyed first.
Yeah.
Just because we have so many nuclear facilities, like kind of like similar in what you're saying, like all the nuclear factories, once there's no people to upkeep those anymore, those are all they're gonna break down on themselves. That's a whole situation on itself. I think like the whole world would just be covered in a
Yeah,
nuclear
so-
winter storm for eons.
At least what I found was GPS trackers connect to a series of satellites to
Yeah.
determine location.
So it is that's how that
Yeah,
works.
yeah.
Right. I think so.
Yeah, so like like tracking missiles and like all that sort of stuff, like
Yeah.
even like UAVs and like radar, all that wouldn't work if you didn't have satellites.
Yeah. No, 100%.
So I would think that's the first thing to go.
The second one.
All right, I got you.
Yes, sir. All right, well, getting back into the Antarctic stuff. That was a cool tangent, though,
Yeah.
that we went on. I like that. I don't know. Yeah, that's always just something I like to think about. It's like the concept of, like, a different civilization before us. That,
I
like,
think it's possible.
yeah.
Especially like back like when like we always talk about like at least like historically it's believed that we were like in Pangea, right? So
Yeah.
like, everything was connected together.
Which, I mean, looking at, like... how the
Antarctica could have been a
continents
part
used
of that and like
to be. I mean, look how
Who
close
knows?
Alaska and Russia are together. Like,
Yeah.
we used to be connected 100%. You can see how South America and
well that's how they think Native Americans got over to North America is that the
Yeah, at one point
oceans
there
were
was a
so
continental
low that there
connect,
was
and then-
there was a land bridge that connected Russia to Canada
Yeah,
and then they just like walked over.
yeah. And then all of a sudden there was just a complete shift in the...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. But getting back into where I was going with these coordinates of weird shit going on in Antarctica, there's another one. Gabe just punched in the coordinates for this. I'll put it up on the screen as well. look at this pyramid, kind of building off of similar to like what we were saying, especially with like, you bringing up the power plant. Tell me that doesn't look exactly like the pyramids of Giza. It's the same like diamond kind of four-sided shape.
Yeah.
Like that is kind of crazy for it to be that well. Like I said, I have this on screen right here.
Definitely looks
That
man-made.
looks pretty man-made. Like it's a full square. You can see it's equilateral on each side as well.
2 kilometers on every side.
Comes to a point just like the same way the pyramids do.
It's a little weird.
It's enough to, raise an eyebrow.
Yeah.
It's not just kind of like,
I think it depends.
It's hard to dismiss it as
it definitely is
like
hard to
just
dismiss
a
it.
thing of nature. Like when it's
Yeah.
2 kilometers
Yeah.
on every side. Like
It's
perfectly
something to think
measured.
about, that's for
It's
sure.
a little I would have to get a close-up look to see like what's going on with it. It's a little too symmetrical for it to be
I'd agree.
natural.
Yeah.
Although there's no wind and there's nothing stopping that, especially in Antarctica.
Oh, yeah.
The winds are they blow mainly north, south, east, west. They don't really blow in
Oh, really?
because it's like
I didn't know
currents.
that.
So like this might be total bullshit. But I'm pretty sure like if there's nothing blocking the wind doesn't redirect. It just blows.
That is something
like it's like current based. I'm pretty
fascinating
sure.
to think about, too, because, we always think about, like, the North and the South Pole and the way, like, the magnetic field works around that.
Yeah.
I wonder how that changes when you're, like, at the center of, like, the South Pole.
Yeah, that's
How everything kind of flows around that. Like, I mean, how
I
would
have
wind
no
flow in a
idea.
specific way around?
That's
yeah.
gotta be weird.
That's what I'm saying.
think
There's got to be
so.
so many more public studies within our lifetime
I would think so.
around that. I mean, I'm sure we're going to find out so much just about, like, the ocean in general on top of that over the next 30 years. But to stay on course, I wanted to get into, like, some more mysterious things to do with Antarctica. So something really crazy when I was doing my research that I saw was that there are over 400 subglacial lakes known in Antarctica.
So what do you mean by subglacial? Like they're under like what
So,
the
like-
glacial like,
So
Below
you know
the
how,
ice
yeah. So you know how like
on
Antarctica is frozen over, it's
Yeah.
snow and just deep ice. These are patches of full liquid water, and there are 400 of them, of like lake-sized patches of just water underneath all of this ice.
like under like miles of ice?
Yeah, like miles deep. Miles deep. There are, like, I mean, obviously some of them are less than a mile deep, but yeah, it goes miles deep where there are literally full-on
How
lakes
do they know that?
of just water because they've been drilling. They've been doing drilling and pulling up ice tubes.
Weird.
And they use the ice tubes to date back to see how old the ice is.
Yeah.
That's how they date back this stuff, and that's actually something I'll get into later on.
Mm-hmm.
But they've been drilling down, and they have found, over 400, and they peak on this through satellites that they cast down signals to. And it is insane to think that there are all these lakes just hidden in the ice.
Dude, that's so weird. I would think that the water would be frozen.
Right? Yeah, you'd think it would all be fully ice. Even if there was salt at that point, just how cold it gets down there.
Well, I guess if it's miles deep,
Yeah.
I could see the pressure from the atmosphere pushing down on it so much that's not able to form into a solid.
Yeah.
Well, miles is crazy.
Yeah.
And building onto that, dude.
Miles?
Yeah.
There's no way.
And the part that gets crazier is, okay, so they've been drilling down, and you know how I said they use that to date back how old the ice is? So they've drilled down, and lakes under land-based sectors of the ice sheet date back to up to 15 million years old. Now, I don't know how the
Million?
scientists... Yes, I don't know how the scientists determine this, but up to 15 million years old, these ice patches and
I think
lake
that's
patches
pretty crazy.
have been dated back to. So that is some crazy shit.
Is that carbon dating?
I don't know if it's carbon dating or how they do it. Like I said, I don't know the science behind it. This is just the research I did. I'll try to give my sources in the description below. But dude, it's some crazy shit.
I have
crazy
I
shit.
have issues with carbon dating.
Yeah. Just because
Carbon dating is not very it's not as accurate as we think it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Gabe. Yeah, if you could fact check that. I don't believe it's carbon dating that
Because
they source this.
I remember reading in
carbon dating, right? There's no.
I mean, it
ice.
is ice. Yeah, it's just
Can't be
H2O.
like carbon
Yeah.
dating's for like
Yeah, it
life
can.
forms.
ice can capture carbon inside of it. Sure it can.
So how do you, all right? So I just looked up like how do you date ice because I'm curious about
Yeah.
like, how you date ice.
Let me hear this.
And the first thing I saw goes an intuitive method to develop an ice chronology is via annual layer counting, where seasonally varying compounds or properties of ice can be used to identify yearly cycles. Water isotopes, dust, conductivity are commonly used to achieve this. You wouldn't use carbon dating for ice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like
I mean,
life.
carbon dating, yeah, it's more for life forms because
Or
all
even
life
just
forms
organic,
carbon.
like plant life, like because like life, you need like carbon.
Yeah,
Carbon is like your base, but not for like water.
Because like I would think, the way that I thought about it being carbon dating was because if it's over 15 million years, the amount of carbon in the atmosphere and like in the air is so much more different every single year, and
it's
for 15 million
possible,
years,
but water or ice
you think it'd
wouldn't
be
have
different?
it wouldn't have carbon in it for a long time until a certain time. If you're talking about like you said, capturing carbon, maybe it wouldn't.
Yeah.
It would not have carbon in it for a long time. It'd have to be pretty old to start like capturing carbon. Like if you want to look like from the beginning, like they said, you want to look at like the layers or like water
but what the
isotopes.
fuck does the
dust.
layers mean? It's not a tree. It's not like it shows you the different years.
Well, it's kind of the same way the sediment. It's kind of the way like they dig out pieces of sediment. They can see how many years have passed between each layer of rock because
With
that rock
ice?
would only
because it's
They have
water.
annual-
because the ice compacts
annual
down.
layer
but
counting.
it's water though. It's fluid. It can move.
Yeah, but have you never heard like the difference between like blue ice and like regular ice? Like it's so compact down.
Yeah, but I mean,
They can tell how many years.
I guess I've never seen.
Like I said, I
blue
don't know
ice
too deep
before.
into the science behind it, but I know the general idea of like the longer the ice has been,
It's got to be of
fully
like
packed
how
down and
compact it
yeah.
is.
like
Yeah, I
one
can
section
see
of
that.
ice will be way more dense than the other.
Yeah,
It's weird how that works. It's honestly mind fucking. But
Yeah, so
But I
everything
mean,
I'm seeing is
that's gotta be
you're
inaccurate though. 'cause-
annually layer counting the ice, or
Yeah.
you're measuring the chemical composition and like
That's what I
trying to
think they've-
determine
yeah.
electrical conductivity of the ice.
I'm telling you, they've probably found like on some skepticism
Mhm.
shit. They've probably found some wild shit when drilling. This is just what we've heard of.
Yeah, well, I mean,
But
the compactness part gets me because the farther you go down the water, because that's where blue
Yeah.
ice comes from, is because it's so compact,
Yeah.
right? But it's getting shoved down like farther and
Yeah.
farther into the water.
Yeah.
Like
it's cool.
it's
to
gonna
think
there's
about.
gonna be more pressure the farther you go down the water. So wouldn't it pressurize it faster than the stuff farther on the top?
I don't know.
So that wouldn't really matter,
I'm not here to
right?
say honestly. I have no idea.
Can't say I'm an expert, but
Yeah.
that's what they're saying.
But
know.
continuing off of that, so the melted water is part of a hydrological network underneath the ice sheet, which includes more than just lakes. It includes rivers, channels of all kinds of rivers that flow into this. It's hard to pronounce word, Eusterine. I don't know how to pronounce this word. You see that? I believe it's Eusterine or something along that. I don't know how to pronounce that.
I've never seen that.
But essentially, this word means like where a bunch of rivers conjoin into one big river. I know the meaning of it at least.
Interesting. I've never seen that.
Yeah,
word.
I don't know how to say it, but I know the meaning. And anyways, these environments they function the same way that they do on the land.
Really?
So it's literally tons of rivers that just conjoin into one river, and then they spread off into lakes the same way it would on the surface. And they've scanned all this, and I'll show you through the pictures. Let me hit the check mark there. So the top one is one of the rivers, the middle one is another one of the rivers, and then the bottom one is the satellites and how they scan to see all these. And I'll throw all these up on the screen.
Sure.
You kind of, you get what I'm saying here?
Mm-hmm.
So that third picture on the bottom, that's how they figure out where all these lakes are, aside from just the drilling. They use satellites to
Weird.
scan through the ice because, water's not as dense as most materials.
So, I think I've talked about this
Crazy.
before.
There's a fourth picture on the bottom there.
But I think so. Graham Hancock, that archaeologist that does a bunch of stuff in like the Amazon.
Yeah. Yep, he's totally into
I-
Antarctica too.
I
Yeah, I've
think
seen
I
his
think
stuff.
he's used that same technology to go through the Amazon because he's
Yeah.
been trying to get rid of like logging and like destroying the forest.
Yeah.
So I remember him talking about how they use like this radar technology and it like scans the surface to like find all these like different like civilizations and stuff and like buildings and whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, like we found so much stuff in the Amazon rainforest that we wouldn't find without logging it.
Really?
He was like, dude, there's evidence of like millions of people living in the Amazon.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy because the Amazon, even in today's states, like before they started logging all the trees, like it's still a crazy environment for people to live in.
Dude, the Amazon's huge.
Dude. Like all kinds of crazy snakes you see. Like I've seen so much footage of people.
Listen, humans
like,
adapt
trailing through the
bro.
Amazon.
Back then,
I understand adapting, but dude, the environment that they're living in, even just the bugs alone, not even talking about snakes and all the.
well, I mean, there's
different
always
creatures.
like a certain point of like us evolving to like certain environments, right?
Yeah.
Like if we went to the Amazon, we gave someone a Baja Blast, they're probably dying.
Oh,
Yeah.
about that, but
Yeah.
Like no way. But like also there's certain things that like
Yeah.
if you think about like poison frogs and like malaria that comes from mosquitoes and all the different animals, like they have also lived generations in that rainforest where they're able to like
Adapt.
take
to the
care of
environment,
themselves,
kind of,
you know?
Yeah. No, I get what you mean.
I don't
I'm
think
just
I don't think it's impossible.
No, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's insane to think of like a civilization consistently living in
I
that
couldn't
environment.
imagine living in there.
Yeah.
That'd be wild.
Like I have empathy for like all of my friends and stuff like today, but the idea of like, I mean, when you guys like, or not when you guys particular, but like just like friends in general complain about like, oh man, like I've been working for like 7 hours. I just want to go home. I want to sleep. Like I think back to like Loki, like I feel bad for them in the moment, but I'm like I think back to like the days where like we didn't have nearly any of the stuff. Like dude, all the time I'm driving and I'm going like 80 miles per hour, and I'm like, dude, nobody a lifetime before me could ever picture traveling at a speed like this. And I'm sitting here just bumping like rap music, just having a good ass time driving at like 83 on the freeway, just like fucking
Bro, Bluetooth.
in my vibe on the way to work. I'm like, dude, yeah, none of that shit
Bluetooth
was
is crazy.
Yeah.
Bro, Wi-Fi is crazy, dude.
So that's when like I just try to ground myself always, because I've caught myself a lot of moments where I'm
Bro,
like
this is a
taking granted.
This is a fucking state-of-the-art library,
Yeah.
bro.
Exactly.
And it's wireless.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't want to be one of those people where it's like you're, you know, like Micah, pretend like you went through something crazy, right? And you're trying to vent to me about your problems. I don't want to be the guy to be like, oh, it could be worse, man. Imagine this, you know? So I wouldn't ever say
Could
it.
have died.
But there are moments where like my
Thanks,
friends
dude.
are like complaining about like little like you know, nothing crazy problems.
Yeah.
like
And I'm still-
inconveniences kinda.
Yes, yeah, and I'm still trying to be empathetic for them. Like I do feel for them, you know, like I understand, but it's like I try to like when I'm
Bro,
going
you
through
could be
my own
fighting
shit.
A 50-foot anaconda snake
Yes,
right now, bro.
yes. Like when I'm going through
That
my
could
own
be your
shit,
life, bro.
I try not to even complain to people about my stuff, because I'm like I try to ground myself and just be like, okay, realistically, like are my problems something that are gonna be an issue longer than a week? And if it's not yes to that question, I'm like, okay. Like I try to think of the moment. Okay, if my issue is not going to be something that future me is going to worry about in a month from now, should I really be stressing that much about it? And if the answer is, like I said, yeah.
Sometimes it's
Yeah.
really hard to
But it's
think
like-
about it that way, though.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's easier said than done, but that's the way I try to like process my thoughts in almost every situation where I'm really stressing about something. I'm just like, I'd really try to just hold myself in the moment and go, okay, if this isn't something I'm going to be stressing about in a week to a month from now, I need to just drop it and not let it affect the rest of my day.
Yeah.
Because then you start, you know, letting off those emotions to the
Start
people
feeding
around
off
you.
of it.
Yeah, not even just yourself, but it's like I don't like imagine you guys came over tonight and something happened to me earlier today, and I'm just sitting here in a you know pissy attitude, just looking at you guys like,
Yeah, wow.
let's get this
cool thought,
podcast over
dude.
with. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice
Cool.
take. Hey, that was
Really?
terrible.
Yeah, you believe in aliens, you fucking idiot.
Hey, wow, you're fucking
You're like, Tony, dude, what happened with you today? It's like, see, I don't want to ever have that thing. So that's where I always like try to like, if I'm going through some shit, I'm just like, try to drop it. If you can't worry about it, and like, if it's not going to affect you longer than a week, it's like, dude, it's really not worth it. I think that's a big thing that like, I've personally like, not to like change the topic, but I've personally tried to grow from over the past like 5 months is like really working on like, not temperament issues. I don't think I've ever had like a temper issue, but just working on like letting go, dude. I think letting go is a huge thing
Letting
in
go
life that a lot
can
of people
be
struggle with, myself
really
included.
hard.
Yeah. I mean, in every facet, because it bleeds into all different sectors of life. Let's get into all your Arctic stuff, though. I'm ready.
All right. Well, yes, the Arctic. All right. So if we're gonna get into these Arctic theories, right?
Yeah.
So everyone knows like the Rothschilds, bro. Like when it comes to conspiracy theories, like, oh, they run the whole world type shit, you know?
Yep.
So there's an island off, like, right off the western coast of Antarctica,
Okay.
and it's called Rothschild Island.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So they claim it's like, oh, we don't own it. It's just like named after us.
Which is weird.
Yeah, that is.
But it's named after them supposedly because their family helped fund the Ernest Shackleton's Antarctic expeditions.
Really?
And the Rockefellers helped fund the Richard E. Byrd expeditions in Antarctica that discovered the plateau. Both took place in the early 1900s.
What?
Were those like the first expeditions to Antarctica? Do you know? At least
Like,
like
the first
The
like
logged ones?
large
Yeah.
scale.
yeah, like large scale.
Yeah, they were.
That's insane to think about people going there in like the
Rockefeller?
1930s.
Yeah, the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. And while this is supposedly the reason the island is named after the Rothschilds,
Where's Rockefeller Island?
I don't know. But
Weird.
I know. Well, actually, I don't even know if they have an island, but I know
That's
that
crazy.
they helped fund an expedition.
I wonder
and
why.
The Rothschilds helped fund.
I wonder why Rothschilds have one, but the Rockefellers don't.
They might. I honestly don't know. I learned about the Rothschilds. And so while this is supposedly the reason that the island is named after them, some people have theorized that they have essentially colonized it or just kind of made it like more habitable.
Yeah.
Like people to like stay there. And they've had like kings, presidents, scientists, government officials as their guests and could supposedly be as sinister as like Epstein Island.
I was gonna say,
Really?
and kids.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's insane.
Yeah. They're saying it could be like this like low key under the radar.
That's probably
Epstein
where
Island
where
kinda thing.
Diddy is right now.
Has there
We
been like
found
any
him.
new update on this, or is this just been like?
How
The
could
Rothschilds?
How could you
Yeah.
get information from that?
That's all I've heard.
I guess you.
That's
yeah.
just locked down, bro.
Yeah, who's traveling there? Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you can't travel to Antarctica, can't you?
You can.
you can, but it's like, it's complicated.
You can go.
weird.
The only reason you would need like a permit or like permission is if you're like leading a tour.
Yeah, I thought it was like illegal, like from like 300.
Oh, no, it's
You can
not
just
illegal.
go there.
Yeah, you
That's
can go there
like
whenever.
as like political.
It's like owning the territory.
What?
Yeah,
it's
you can't.
It's illegal
go
to claim
there.
territory. You can't.
I
Claim
thought it was just illegal to travel there.
Oh no, you can go there. Yeah.
Like
go
I thought
there
it was just
whenever
like
the hell you
nah,
want.
like
Yeah.
Area 51, like as a continent. I'm just like fuck you.
Yeah, you can
Oh
just
yeah,
go
no.
scoot
You're
down there
definitely able
whenever
to.
you
Yeah,
want.
yeah.
That's great, dude. Trip to Antarctica? I'd be down for that.
All right, so we'll do Stanley Hotel, and then we'll run to
then
Antarctica,
Antarctica would be
with
dope.
our demons
Yeah.
attached.
Yes, sir. Yes,
yeah.
sir.
All right.
That'd be dope.
All right. Say
So
less.
then another theory claims that there's a society there on that island.
No way.
And in
bro.
other parts of Western Antarctica with
I
their
don't believe
own
that.
government, rules, or lack thereof. and
Yeah.
They just run themselves.
That's where the pyramid's for.
I don't know.
Yeah, that one's a little more
It's
far-fetched.
a little. Yeah.
But this one I've heard more about.
Yeah.
There's another theory is that there's like a sort of like gateway to like a whole other world. Like a lush green.
You're talking some flat Earth shit right here.
Bro's a fucking
Well, so-
Aladdin. Just
Made it
like,
past the ice wall.
made it past the ice
You
wall.
can take that as like the ice wall thing, or people have literally just said it's like the snowy face is like a gateway to like just a lush green like,
Interesting.
I think.
which I don't
think
know how,
I think
but
Hollow Earth is more plausible than flat Earth.
Oh.
I think
That might be a hot take.
Oh. What do you guys think?
they're both pretty
think-
unplausible.
I think both
They're
are
both
insane.
pretty very far fetched.
Flat
but
Earth. We
I
can
think both
pretty
are like
much
lobotomized
debunk
type
right
of
now.
thoughts.
What? Hollow Earth?
There's not a chance the Earth is hollow.
You don't think so?
Nah.
There's no way.
I think we would have collapsed in.
What?
Yeah, at some
Come on.
part.
No shot.
Right.
No, I don't think we would have collapsed.
You think with all these earthquakes that shit wouldn't be crazier if there was a hollow Earth?
Listen, that would have to be pretty far down. That'd be pretty far down. Listen, where does an earthquake actually, like, where are the tectonic plates in the crust? They're not that far down, are they?
No.
Bro, you can go we don't. Do we really know how like the Earth is like in the middle? I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
that's
all
my,
iron.
That's my whole thing. Like, is it really
All
like
molten
is
iron.
Is it really all molten lava?
Well, there's
down
got to be
there?
a core to the planet.
Yeah.
Like
There's got to be a
it can't
core,
hollow.
right? Well, I mean, like,
It's all molten because of the immense pressure. It can't solidify because it's like heated up just from the pressure.
well, I guess like what I'm saying is like, have we had someone go down there and like mine for the fucking
can't.
lava?
The deepest
We
we've
die.
been able to dig is like a couple miles into the
That's
earth.
bullshit,
Yeah.
dude. We have fucking technology.
Nah, we would get
A
murked.
couple
if we
miles
tried
is a
drilling that
long
far
way.
down.
When
It's
you're
not that
digging,
much, bro.
when
Fuck
you're
that.
digging,
Dude, they try to drill down that far and they
Miles?
lose
Bro,
their
how deep is the
equipment
Mariana
because it gets
Trench?
too hot.
Someone look it up.
it's like
It's
a
like
couple
2
miles.
miles. Yeah, it's like 2 or 3 miles.
It's not
Challenger Deep? Look up Challenger Deep. See how deep that is.
dude.
Bro, please.
The
Like,
Mariana,
just
a couple
Gabe
miles
fact
is
check
a
this.
lot.
Gabe
just
fact
just
check
for the
this.
entertainment.
Just for shits and giggles.
Because like Hollow Earth like cannot be real, but from
I think you're a Hollow Earth believer, bro.
from a theoretical standpoint though,
I just got deja vu crazy, bro. I swear to God, you've talked about this before.
I swear I've never talked about this before.
I think on the first
I think
recording
Hollow-
of this
I think-
episode,
I
bro, I
think
swear
Hollow-
to God, you brought up Hollow
I think
Earth.
no.
Did I?
So, all right.
Never,
Did I
Deepest
just
never,
point
never have
on
I
the
talked
Earth
about
is
Hollow
known as Challenger Deep.
Mhm.
This point is located in the Pacific Ocean at the southern end of the larger trench, called the Mariana Trench.
Yeah.
This trench is the deepest point on Earth and is named after. Yeah, don't tell me.
No
how
one
long.
cares.
But how you said how deep?
How deep
It
was
doesn't say.
It doesn't say how deep.
Bro, because it's more than a couple miles, I think.
So 36,000 feet.
So like
After the
a
Challenger
little
Deep
over
is
2 miles.
36,000
Wait,
feet.
whoa.
No.
That's way deeper. Wait, hold on.
Dude, a mile's like it's like 5,800.
Yeah.
something.
No, it's deeper. Hold up.
Bro, that's crazy. That's almost 10 miles. That's
Yeah,
more
it's
than
around
10 miles.
7 miles deep.
Bro, yeah,
It's
that's
around 7 miles deep.
bro, yeah, that's almost 10 miles
About
deep.
7 miles.
That's crazy.
But that's not like that's
That's
nothing,
still not deep
bro.
enough for your girl, bro.
7 miles. Like it's a lot, but it's a lot, but it's
7
nothing.
miles deep is crazy.
7 miles deep is crazy.
7 miles deep is pretty crazy, dude.
But it's still ending up.
Come on, dude. Come on, man.
Yo.
7 miles deep. That's pretty crazy. You're telling me we can only dig a couple miles? And we've been 7
Dude,
miles?
you know how hot it gets down there, bro? That's where volcanoes start
That's
forming.
not how we've dug.
Motherfucker, there's volcanoes in
We
the
don't
ocean.
dig at the bottom there, bro.
Bro,
That's
there's
not how far
volcanoes
we've
in the
dug.
ocean.
That's like a natural trench in the earth. Like the farthest that a human has been able to dig
I think
is
that's,
like a couple miles.
I think that, I think
God, I
that's-
can't wait to see the comments on these clips, bro.
I think that's cap, bro.
Oh,
That's crazy.
fuck.
It's a cap.
All
I'm
right.
telling you. But listen, so the wildest theory,
Yeah.
the last theory I got, the wildest one, right?
Let me hear that shit. Let me hear it.
So there's
Skibbity.
Bro,
Sorry, I
spit.
needed the brain nourishment, brother.
Spit that shit. Let me hear it.
ignoring what we just heard. There's also a theory, right, that
Yeah?
capsules containing ancestors were
Yeah?
found beneath the ice.
Really?
Wait, what do you mean beneath?
They were containing ancestors? Really? Build on that.
What do you mean like
Huh?
beneath the ice? Like in a facility, or like actually
That's what
under
they
the ice?
say. Like
I think
in
you're
a
fucking
lab,
lying.
which
In
is
a
wild.
Nah,
But
you're lying.
so a viral Facebook
Is
post
that where skinwalkers come from?
claiming, hey,
This is so derailed.
Maybe.
Humanoid in a lab?
it is, bro. Fuck, it is.
Bro, you guys are both off your rockers so far. I think you guys got smacked over the head with a
Motherfucker,
rock.
the Challenger Deep is 7 miles.
You're over here talking about aliens in the ice. You're over here talking about hollow Earth, bro. I feel
Brother,
like I'm the
brother.
only
You're
one
over here
right
talking about
now.
7 miles deep.
7 miles
No.
deep could happen, bro.
Bro, all I'm saying is that it's more plausible than flat Earth. Flat Earth is just straight stupid.
Yeah, it is.
Bro,
Hollow
says
Earth,
the
we-
hollow Earth man.
Bro, Hollow Earth, we just don't have evidence to like make it real.
I'm putting up multiple polls. What do you guys think is more likely? Flat Earth or hollow Earth?
That's not even a question, Hollow Earth.
They're both.
Neither.
I
Okay.
I think they're both
Yeah, nice
insane
question,
claims.
dude. What's more plausible, Flat Earth or Hollow Earth? Neither. Yeah, nice poll, dude.
mean, they're both so unlike.
They're both so
not
unlikely.
True. They're both not true.
No, they're both not true.
So
And they're both not likely. But Hollow Earth is definitely
the hardest to believe.
the hardest to believe is for sure Flat Earth. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean he's got flat Earth is
I
insane,
guess.
but Hollow
they're
Earth is
both-
just
they're
as
both
fucking
just
crazy.
so-
Like Hollow Earth.
At
is
least
hard,
Hollow
I
Earth
think.
implies that it's a globe,
It's like-
but still.
Hollow Earth just like reminds me of like Ice Age 3 when they fucking break through the ice. Like, bro, I just think about that. I'm
The
like,
little squirrel going
yeah, bro. Like, I just think about that. I'm
Yeah.
like, damn,
Sprat?
that's. I was like, bro, that's low
Yeah.
key plausible. I was like, that's kind of crazy,
like, only person to ever say that.
bro. Just find dinosaurs and shit.
Bro
down
watched
there.
Ice Age and goes, that might be how it happened.
Bro, that might be how it happened, bro. That's crazy.
All right, well, was that your last theory?
Well, okay, all right. So I didn't even get to fucking like finish.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so
Yeah, finish, Gabe.
there's a theory that these ancestors are in capsules in a lab under the ice,
Sounds like some Subnautica shit.
So the lab is under the ice,
Legit?
or the lab is on the ice.
beneath the ice.
And they're like just under.
Beneath
it.
the ice, and they're
Beneath the
breeding
ice.
all these aliens.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and they're saying, so he quoted, the deep dark state found underneath the ice in Antarctica, many
Ooh, wait, whoa, 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 whoa,
ancestors
whoa, whoa,
inside
whoa.
capsules, and many
Whoa.
found laying outside of these capsules from some type of war that took place.
Deep Dark State? Who is
Before.
the Deep Dark State?
Bro, they're talking about Minecraft, the Deep Dark.
I feel like someone just took a sledgehammer and fucking beat up the studio right now. I'm Deep Dark State?
Bro, Deep Dark State is like Rothschilds.
That's like the top
Right.
like 7 like influential like
No, that's like the
people
top.
on the planet with the most money that
No,
are like,
that's like
Like
the-
Charlie D'Amelio.
Bro, that's like the top like 0.0001%.
Yeah, no.
You're saying, okay, so whoever made this theory, not you, Gabe.
Bro, it's like
Whoever
Ariana
made this
Grande
theory
and
is
the
saying
Rothschilds.
the Deep Dark State, the 7 supposed power, like most powerful people,
Sure.
I have to leave, bro.
had a
All right, we'll see you later.
had a special lab under the ice where they
Yeah.
were inbreeding.
Studying humanoid creatures
studying
that are
aliens.
supposedly there from a war that took place before.
I hope the comments have a field day with this one. Honestly, that's crazy.
Yeah,
There's
pretty
no
wild.
way. You don't believe this, right?
No.
But you're like reporting on it. I got you. I
Yeah,
got you.
yeah.
All
It's
right,
a theory.
all
It's
right,
out
all
there.
right.
You know, we're
I'll
just here to
respect that.
share theories of the people.
All right. All right.
It's out there. You know, you can believe if you want, but
That
it's
is
pretty wild.
fucking nuts.
It's very wild.
It is. That's some of the most insane shit I've heard tonight, honestly.
Oh, it is.
All right. Well, Mike is going to be back soon, but I'll get into the next segment.
Sure.
I actually have one story that I can share on this one that comes from a Reddit user. So, you know, albeit that might not be the most verifiable information,
Mm.
but he talks about a lab that was found in the ice. So I will get into that
There you go.
in just a moment when Micah gets back. So, quick little cut ski. All right, so I actually have a quick story
Sure.
for us to dig into.
I need a Max Wayne.
So this comes from Ghost of Condog about a year ago. He goes, there's currently a small field camp in West Antarctica called Bird Surface Camp. It's on the surface, but it gets several feet of snow accumulation every single year. It's on the site of an old U.S. naval station from the 1960s. The old structure was used for years and it was designed to function while buried under the snow. Eventually it was actually buried under the snow, and it was abandoned. The last time anyone dug down and entered it was in the 90s. It's still possible to see the outline of the station using the Traverse's ground-penetrating radar. I have it on good authority that Bird Station houses a nice record collection, some comfy couches, a pool table, and a cat stretch 8 bulldozer. The only catch is that it's buried under 50 feet of snow.
Worth.
Do you guys think it would be? Yeah. I guess you already answered
Odd
it.
at the underground bunker in Antarctica.
I'm like, yeah, do we go dig under 50 feet of snow and go find this shit?
Absolutely.
Bringing.
I mean, he had me with,
Bro, it'd be like Diamond City down there, bro. Record
he had me with
collection,
nice record
pool
collection. yeah.
tables, couches.
Yeah.
Yo, if they got like some old like wine down there too.
Oh, some old scotch. Ooh,
Scotch is a
that'd be
crazy
so
pull.
good.
Little
You
scotch
wouldn't even
on the
need
rocks.
ice. You could literally just go outside and grab
Exactly. A
snow.
little scotch on the rocks. Some
That's
ice
crazy.
from outside.
Yeah.
There you go.
Drop it in there.
Well, to conclude this episode, boys, what kind of hidden secrets do you guys think that Antarctica is holding? Or do you guys think it's really like
That's the
more
coolest
hyped than
thing.
it is?
That's the coolest thing about it is you don't know. Like there's so many possibilities because it's like the last like really undiscovered continent.
That's what I'm saying.
I
What
would
shocks
actually
me is
argue
really to
about
end
anything
the
is
episode with
possible.
anything. Yeah. What really is like how little we know publicly about it.
Right.
We know so much publicly about all the countries going on
It's
around
like
the planet.
discovered, but like
I would actually
Yeah.
argue that Brazil is just as undiscovered as Antarctica.
What?
80% of that
Brazil?
thing, bro. 80% of that thing is the Amazon.
well,
All right, we're gonna have to touch on this in a future episode because that's
That's crazy.
a wild claim that we're gonna have to address later
the
on.
Amazon.
That'll
it
run the
makes
next
up
30
a-
minutes.
At least
of the
there's
show.
solid
people
portion
in
of
Antarctica.
Brazil.
We don't have people in the Amazon.
Well, there's very few people in Antarctica.
Yeah, but, like,
especially
it's
for how big it is.
Yeah, but like,
You know what I mean?
I'm talking like, there's a lot of facilities at Antarctica.
Got the facilities for that one, big man.
I think
We
we're
have
gonna
a
need
lot
some
of
evidence on all
facilities
these
over there,
claims.
man.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining today's episode of Sidetracked. I hope you guys got some cool kind of like information about Antarctica out of this. If you have any thoughts, please let us know in the description or in the comments. But you can find us at Sidetracked T on pretty much every platform. Otherwise, we're at Sidetracked TW on X. Please let us know any feedback or what you'd like to see in future episodes. Otherwise, thank you for watching.
If there's any other information that you guys have, maybe a part 2.
Yeah, pop that in, pop it in. All right, see you guys in the next one. Peace out.